So we have done switching. Remember switching VLANs, right? Broadcast domains, how to create VLANs, how to assign ports to VLANs, right? And then inter-VLAN communication, we have done all these things. Ether channels, two ways, right? So layer 2 as well as layer 3. So, and then port security, we have done. Okay. So look at this. Let me strike off whatever we have done. In the switching, we have done all these things, right? Describe switching concepts, right? How the switch learns the MAC address. And aging, of course, we didn't do anything, but we know it ages out a MAC address in 3 minutes, right? Sorry, 5 minutes, 300 seconds, right? So if that PC again doesn't send any data in 300 seconds, it will again remove it. So that more and more space, right, is left in the MAC address table for the new MAC address to be learned. And we know what is our switch. They say frame switching, right? Okay. So when one PC is sending data to another PC and both are in the same VLAN, that is frame switching. And unknown unicasts are flooded and multicasts are flooded and broadcasts are flooded, right? And we have explored the MAC address table. We also know now how it learns and stores the MAC address tables, MAC addresses in the MAC address table. And configure and verify VLANs. Okay, we have done this. Spanning multiple switches. Access ports is where we have end users, right? Switch port mode access, switch port access, VLAN, blah, blah, whatever number. And default VLAN, we know VLAN 1, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. They're default. And native VLAN is by default VLAN 1, right? All the management traffic goes through it. STP, BPDUs, hello, hello, all these things, right? CDP, hello, hello, whatever. And inter-VLAN communication we have done. Trunking, we know. When we have multiple VLANs, more than one VLAN, between the switches, only then we require trunking. Otherwise, we don't. And trunking has got two encapsulations or protocols, 802.1q and ISL. ISL is not in our course, right? Inter-switch link. This is open standard and ISL is Cisco proprietary. Native VLAN is VLAN 1. We can change it. Show MAC addressable command, show VLANs we have done. VTP is not in your course, but we have. I've given you some idea, right? VTP. VLANs, of course, we have done. STP, we have done. Spanning tree protocol, right? Loop avoidance. It enables every switch in the network to find the shortest loop-free, shortest cost path up to a central reference point known as the root bridge, right? So only one root bridge, all other non-root bridges, right? And then root ports and whatever more. Okay, STP, PVST for VLAN spanning tree. Now this enables load balancing, right? So we did configure uh, one switch for certain VLANs as the root bridge, other switch for root bridge for other VLANs, right? So for load balancing. Spanning tree protocol is old. Then we did rapid PVST, faster, but again, it doesn't support load balancing. After that came PVST per VLAN spanning tree. And after that comes multiple spanning tree. We don't have MST lab in our course because the software doesn't support and the exam also they will not check. But theory we should know, right? So PVST is again slow, but it helps. It facilitates load balancing. Remember PVST? And what's the difference between PVST and MST? Okay, we'll discuss that. Interpret basic operations of rapid PVST and spanning tree. Okay, we have done this. Then we know what a root port is. We know what a root bridge is. We know what primary and secondary root bridge is. And listening mode and learning mode and or alternate mode and right blocking mode, whatever. Port states, port either in the forwarding or blocking or listening or learning mode, whatever. Uh, Port fast we have done. Root guard, loop guard, all these things we have done. Yeah. Can I strike off all these things now? Uda do? Of course, I'm going to explain after striking this off MST in theory only. Yes, can I strike this off? Uda?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, good. So now, and then actually we now are going to officially start routing. Of course, we have done a bit of static routing and default routing, right? I showed you the labs, of course. No theory, nothing. But we'll again begin with this. So let's come back to switching first. We'll again resume routing later on, right? I haven't shown you the switching PPTs, correct? I haven't shown you, na? PPTs. So STP is old, the basic. IEEE 802.1D, not 1D, slow, right? And CST, common spanning tree, means only if this is the root bridge and VLAN 5, 10, 15, 20, VLAN 5, 10, 15, 20, he is the root bridge for all the VLANs. So only one path. If this dies, there's no load balancing, right? All VLANs are going to suffer. That is STP old one. Common spanning tree means no load balancing. Then we talked about RSTP, remember? Rapid spanning tree protocol. So it does the same things, but it does it fast, right? IEEE 802.1W. But again, CST, common spanning tree. So no load balancing. Then we talked about PVST. Now this means load balancing, right? But of course, we have to configure different switches to act as root bridge for different VLANs, right? VLAN 5, VLAN 10, whatever. So we want VLAN 5 data to go like this and VLAN 10 data to go like this. So spanning tree, VLAN 1 or whatever, VLAN 2, VLAN 3, whatever. Root primary. And here spanning tree, VLAN 1, VLAN 2, whatever. Root secondary, right? Like that. But spanning tree, VLAN 10, VLAN 20, root primary. And spanning tree, VLAN 10, VLAN 20, root secondary, right? That we have done. So PVST means load balancing. Not by default, but when you configure it, right? And now, so if you got 500 VLANs, right, there will be 500 instances of VLANs, right? Something like this. If there are 1,000 VLANs, there will be 1,000 instances of VLANs, which means it will consume more resources. We are talking about PVST. It will consume more resources means CPU cycles, bandwidth, and memory, right? 1,000 different VLANs packets will keep on moving in the network, right? VLAN 1 traffic going like this, hello, 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 hello. VLAN 2 traffic going like this. VLAN 3 traffic going like this. VLAN 4 going like this, right? VLAN 5, VLAN 500, VLAN 1,000. So, and every VLAN traffic for VLAN 1, the priority will be if left on default. 30,768 is the default plus 1. For VLAN 2, it will be plus 2, right? We know this now. For VLAN 500, it will be plus 500, so on and so forth. So that is PVST. But what MST does is multiple spanning tree. Even if you got 500 or 1,000 VLANs, right? Even if you got 500, I mean n number of VLANs, unlike PVST or rapid PVST, you won't have 500 to 1,000 instances, right? What we'll do is when you get to the next course, we'll be doing the lab. But for now, let's say we got VLAN 1,000 VLANs, right? 1,000 VLANs. So what we'll do is we'll create instance 1 and we'll map from VLAN 1 to VLAN 500 in instance 1. We'll create one more instance, let's say instance 2 in the next course, and we'll map VLAN from 501 to 1,000. Got it? Something like this. And now only one packet is going to move in the entire network. only one packet. And CPU cycles, memory, bandwidth will be very low. Got it? That is something MST, multiple spanning tree, right? But this is open standard. But actually, Cisco was the one who had come out with MIST, multiple instance of spanning tree, right? Cisco was the one who had come out with this. And then after that, in the open standards, they came out with MST, following the same concept. Yeah, is the difference clear, guys? समझ में आ गया difference between PVST, ये खाली slow है, and rapid PVST, the same thing, but it is fast. But here, if you got 1,000 VLANs, 1,000, let's say 1,000 times CPU, 1,000 times memory, 1,000 times, right, bandwidth consumption, there will be 1,000 packets moving through the network, so on and so forth. That is PVST or rapid PVST, slow or fast, whatever, right? But as compared to that, they came out with MST, multiple spanning tree. So now CPU cycles will come down, memory will come down, and bandwidth will also come down, but convergence will still remain fast. Got it? That is MST. This is how we'll be doing it in the next course lab. Yeah. So are we done with multiple spanning tree also? Understood? Theoretical? No lab. And of course, you know the commands. What you have to do in the real life is just go to the global mode and type spanning tree mode question mark. Yeah, only two choice. Here is the simulator. What was that? PVST and rapid PVST. Isn't it? Remember? In the real switch, you'll also get this one. So you just have to type here MST, nothing else. On all the switches or rapid R tab, rapid PVST. Because the default is already PVST. Right? Remember? It showed IEEE. Show spanning tree. याद आ रहा है? Am I able to recall everything? Help you guys recall? Yes or no? So now, ठीक है? Have I been able to revise everything in switching so far? At least the overview? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good, Mega. And now I would like to show you PPT also, right? So now tell me, what all PPT have we seen here? This was, I don't know, I don't recall anything. Undersea cables also, we got multiple batches going on. ये दिखाया था मैंने, Mega, Dipti and Aditya. Have I shown this one to you guys? I must have, right? Undersea cables going on, fiber optic cables. Yes? हाँ क्या ना? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Yes? Okay. So you have seen this also? This one? The Ethernet twisted pair standards, categories and distance limitations. Yeah. देखा था? Have you seen this one? Yes or remember or no? This is regarding the cable, copper cables, old one. Not remembering? Have you seen this or not?
Not remembering, sir.
Not good. So then I can just briefly go through it. So the we have nowadays, categories, right, for the cables, right? Ethernet standard for twisted pair cabling. We are talking about copper cables. So in the olden days, we had Cat 3. Then when I joined CCNA in the year 2001, right, I started learning this in the year 2002. Then the world was using only this. All these things were not existing in the world only. They were not born only, right? So this was what I learned when I did CCNA. Started learning it way back in 2001. So Australia or America or USA, whatever, right? Or Canada, whatever. They were using only Cat 5 all over the world in the real company, right? All over the world. This was the maximum. So this was the standards, right? And maximum length, they go is 100 meters only, right? And this Cat 3, of course, very old one, right? Uh, Speed was only 10 Mbps, right? Baseband, twisted pair, and of course, 100 base T also came later on. But forget Cat 3. I I had nothing to do with Cat 3 because we were working on Cat 5. Of course, that was 100 Mbps, right? This is the standard. And of course, 1000 also is there in Cat 5, right? Then came Cat 5e. So that is again basically gigabit standards, right? 100 meters maximum. 100 meters, okay. Cat 6, so all this improvisations, right? Speed is going to be faster, 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 right? So again, 1000 base T and 5 gigabit also, see, and 10 gig. Look at the speed that has gone up from gig to 5 gig and 10 gig, right? But speed can, of course, speed we know, length can be 100 meter, or for 10 base T, the maximum length is only 55 meters. Okay. Then if you are using Cat C, this copper cable in your company, you can go up to maximum 100 meters only. And speed is you can get gig, 5 gig, 10 gig, right? Whatever speed. Then came category 7 standard, right? So maximum again it goes up to 100 meters. But the speed supported is 5G, 10G, and even look, 1000 base T, right? 1000 base T, okay, that's gigabit only. And Cat 8 now, because the speed is increasing and increasing, the distance is coming down, right? Whatever. 25 gig, 40 gig, man. Okay. Only 32, 36 meters. Okay. It's intended for data centers. Okay. So you may get all the things in your book. You may not get the latest one, whatever. So where am I? Okay. Now tell me this. This was non-technical. CCNA, CCNP, CCI, right? ये क्या है हमने? Have you seen this one? We don't have to do much here. These are the only icons, right? Multi-layer switch icon will be like this, right? Okay. So not much here. Layer 2 switch. Okay. Okay. So we have seen this rollover cable. That's for the management, right? Or serial cable, we don't have it. I think I have shown you this, right? Straight to cable. Where do you connect this, right? This is your rough idea about cabling, and this is how your uh, maybe a switch or a multi-layer switch looks like. So if by looking at it, we can't identify. ये देखा है हमने slides. Have you seen all these things? Yeah. Console port management, right? I'm going to connect a laptop here and hyper terminal or putty, and then we'll configure this. These are your Ethernet cables. Yes, where are we? TCP and UDP, have we done this? The differences between TCP and UDP? We have done theoretically OSI reference model, right? Everything. फिजिकल लेयर, डेटा लिंक लेयर, नेटवर्क ट्रांसपोर्ट सेशन प्रेजेंटेशन एप्लीकेशन, ये सब किया है कि नहीं हमने? आदित्य, मेगा एंड दीप्ति, हैव वी डन ऑल दिस थिंग्स? या टीसीपी आईपी मॉडल, ओएसआई मॉडल कंपैरिजन, राइट? यस. upper three layers in OSI. In TCP IP layer, upper three layers are combined together and it's known only as application layer, right? This one is also known as internet layer, right? And physical and data link, they have been combined into known as network access layer also, right? Network access layer. Huh? Yes, guys, I am not hearing anything from you guys. Yes or no? Dipti, Aditya, Megha, have I
Yes, sir.
shown? ये हमने देखा है कि नहीं? Have we done the comparison between TCP and UDP?
Yes, sir.
Have I shown you the slide? This one? Yes or no? I think I have shown you all these things. Yes? Anyway. And what more? Cloud managed devices. Okay. Now we have Cisco Meraki, right? We'll talk of this later on. But nowadays we have, if you buy Cisco's Meraki solution, right? That means it's a cloud based. So it will be centralized management, right? Somebody will just sitting on a laptop or whatever, and he can visualize all the devices in GUI, right? Whatever. So this is a centralized dashboard, right? From here, BOARD. From here, the admin can control, manage, monitor, right? Entire network devices. Okay. Troubleshoot everything. So if you buy Cisco's Meraki solution, right? So you'll get a dashboard. So Cisco's Meraki is a technology, right? It's used for basically cloud-based or wireless things, right? Look at this cloud-based management means basically your dashboard. It's basically just a software through which you can manage your entire network and all devices in the network, right? So Cisco currently offers two advanced cloud applications that provide comprehensive graphical interface. So we are talking about now GUI, right? Not CLI. And of course, when we get into automation, we'll be talking about Cisco's DNA Center, Digital Network Architecture. Again, it's a software, but now the new name for it is Cisco Catalyst Center, right? So all GUI. So we can do provisioning, we can do troubleshooting, everything. Sitting at one place, entire worlds, all our branches, all devices all over the branches, right? We can configure, monitor, troubleshoot, provision, everything that we can do, right? With the help of Cisco Catalyst Center and Meraki. So Cisco currently offers two advanced cloud applications that provide comprehensive graphical interfaces. Cisco Catalyst Center, formerly known as Cisco's Digital Network Architecture, DNS Center, and Cisco's Meraki dashboard. These are very, very strong, very important, very powerful tools, right? For the admins today to manage your networks. These tools not only support all available features of web UI user interface, but also allow for centralized management of multiple devices through a single user interface. Okay. So you can manage all your devices through a single dashboard. Okay. User interface. Both Cisco Meraki and Cisco Catalyst Center require an active licensing, of course. It's very costly. All right. Agreement to access their respective management dashboards and perform configuration changes. So if you talk of Cisco's cloud management later on, remember we are talking about two things, two software, Cisco Meraki and Cisco Catalyst Center. Okay. But this will come in automation part, not today. And then have we seen PPT lesson number 4? ये हमने देखा है ना? Yeah. Remember, guys? We have done this. I don't remember, guys. You have to tell me yes, we have done or not. Did I must have asked you which is this port, which is this port, which is this cable, right? Which is this port, which is this cable? Yeah. Have we done this? किया है ना? We can configure our Cisco routers or switches through console port or auxiliary port, which is not in the switch, only on the router, or through remotely through telnet, right? But nowadays through SSH, secured shell, or we can upload download from a TFTP server. That's again configuring our device, right? Or we can do it through network management server. So we have SNMP servers also, simple network management protocol. Through these servers, we can configure or monitor or manage these devices. Okay. We'll be talking about SNMP later on, not today. And of course, now we know how to configure these guys, right? CLI, user mode and all those things. Enable. Okay. किया है कि नहीं हमने? User mode, privilege mode, all basics. Yeah, Aditya, Megha, Dipti. Huh? Tell me, what do you recall? Have we done these slides or not? You have to tell me.
Sir, we haven't done the slides.
You haven't?
No.
Okay. So, but these are only basics, right? Starting a switch. Now look at this. Starting a switch. Actually, I want to take you to further, but upon completing this lesson, we'll be able to start an access layer switch and recognize the normal boot sequence. Use the command line interface, CLI, to interact with the Cisco software given an operational switch. On online help means up arrow, down arrow, right? Or control P or control N, previous, next commands. Also question mark, right? Also caret marker. Here's the problem, right? Enable, not ENBLE, but here some command is not correct. All this is help. System startup routines initiate switch off software means what? First, it will do post, means hardware check. Then it requires iOS, which is normally stored inside the flash, which it picks up and loads in the RAM. And then it goes in the NVRAM. If this is blank, nothing here, that means this router switch is on factory default settings, right? It will take you to the setup mode, right? We have done all these things. Configuration dialog box, dash, dash, dash. Configuration dialog box. Would you like to configure your device? Yes or no, right? Okay. Before you to start the switch, verify the cabling and console connections. Attach the power cable plug to the switch power supply socket. Observe the boot LEDs sequence, right? Observe the boot sequence. That means LEDs on the switch. So you have LEDs there, right? You have ports and LEDs. Ports and LEDs. And they become amber or green or whatever. And of course, the output that we get on our console laptop, right? So this is a logo. It's a tin logo. And these are your ports, right? These are your ports. Maybe 8 port or 12 port or 24 port or 48 port, whatever number of ports, right? You have. These are your LEDs, right? And these are again your LEDs, system LED, redundant power supply LED, status LED, utilization, full duplex. This is one button, right? I can press this with my any finger or thumb, right? Okay. This is the old one, 1900. They were all 10 Mbps, old one. And it had got two 100 Mbps ports. That's it. But then after that came 2950. After that came 2960. So on and so forth. They're all layer 2. But later on, they came out with layer 3 model also, 2960. Some model XYZ, that was a layer 3 switch. Of course, 3500, 3500 series, they were all layer 3 switches, right? 3550, 3560, so on and so forth. And then 4500 and 6500 and so on and so forth. So many series keep on coming. We don't have to keep a track or remember everything, right? Of all the numbers, serial numbers. Okay. Again, we have some LEDs here. System LED, redundant power supply, RPS LED, STAT, status, UTL, utilization, duplex and speed LEDs, right? So during post, what happens? These LEDs blink and then they turn off because it's the switch when it's booting up, it will do the post, right? Power on self test. That means it's going to check all its internal hardware components. Everything okay? So if everything is okay, they will blink and then turn off. Supposing if there's a defect in hardware problem in some port, this LED will become amber. Amber means orange. And the system LED will also become amber. That means there's some problem, trouble, right? Of course, it's not in our course. It can be hardware issue. Okay. Okay, now supposing these are all LEDs, I can only press this button, right? If I press it once, let's say the LED will come here on status. If I press it once more, LED will now come here, right? Not here. If I press it once more, this button, LED will move here. This will also be gone. If I press it once more, LED will move here, speed. If I press it once more, it will go, it will be gone, right? Okay. So assuming I press this once, twice, thrice, so the LED will be here, right? On duplex. So whichever port this LED is on green, right? That will be on full duplex, right? Whichever port there is no LED, that will be half duplex. Got it? So it is telling you the state of these ports, right? Telling you some story about these duplex settings. Okay. Supposing if I press it once more, what will happen? The LED will move now here. This will be green, right? Speed. Okay. Now only this LED will be green. And if there is no LED, right, nothing is here, it's not green, that means it is on 10 Mbps, right? If this is green, that means it is on 100 Mbps, right? If some port LED is blinking, right, that means it is 1000 Mbps. Got it? So all these things tell you some story about the port states regarding duplex and speed. Okay. So these are all petty topics, right? Not very important, but you just need to know them. So what happens when you turn on a switch? At the start, all port LEDs are green. Each LED turns off after its test completes. If a test fails, its LED turns amber. System LED also turns amber if any test fails. If no test fails, post completes successfully, and on post completion, LEDs blink and then turn off. And then they will blink only when data is coming or going in, coming in or going out, right, from that port. Okay. So now initial boot up output 2950, old switch, but it's okay, right? So when you turn it on, if you get this kind of an output, dash, 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 system configuration dialog, which means this is which mode? Setup mode, right? It will give you some instructions now. At any point, you may enter a question mark for help. Use Control C to abort configuration dialog at any prompt. बीच में ही छोड़ के भागने का है तो you can press Control C and move out, right? Then again instructions. Default settings are given the square brackets. Keep on looking ahead, right? Continue. Now it's asking you, boss, can we continue with the configuration dialog? Yes or no? And further output, you cannot see anything, right? You have to, the choices are yes or no. You have to type here. Normally we type here no, and it straight away goes to the user mode, right? Whether switch or router, whatever it is. And then we type here enable and something like this. But just to give a demo, instead of no, we have typed here yes. So now we are in the setup mode, right? It's asking us to set up the device, basic setup. So now enter the IP address, right? Here the cursor is blinking, you have to type it. Whatever you want to give, right? Anything like this. Enter. Then this line will come, pop up, right? Enter IP subnet mask. Then you have to type here whatever subnet mask you want to give, right? Enter. Then it will ask you, would you like to enter the default gateway? Yes or no? Default answer is yes. You also typed yes. Instead of typing again yes, just press enter. That's okay. Now it's asking you to give an IP address of the default gateway, right? So supposing if this is my switch, I had given it 10.1.1.2 and I'm connected to R1. This is 10.1.1.1. This is connected to internet. So here I am going to type 10.1.1.1, right? I don't have to type the subnet mask. Enter host name. So I can type here capital W1, whatever you want to give. And then enable secret, you know this, right? You can type here CCNA, PCNA, whatever. And like, would you like to enter telnet password? Yes or no? So yes, then enter the password. Then you want to type here whatever, XYZ, CCNA, PCNA, whatever. You can type that password, right? Forget this cluster. It's not nowhere there in our book course exam switch. Okay. Now we know the name of the switch is by default switch only. User mode, we give a command enable secret, you type here CCNA, whatever, and then we come to the privilege mode, right? Disable again, you will go back to the user mode. Okay. Context sensitive help is question mark. If you don't know anything, just press a question mark. From A to Z, it will display a lot of commands and what each command does. Provides a list of commands and the arguments associated with a specific command. Console error messages, caret marker, right? Enable and wrong typing, right? Typos, typing mistake. So this is identifies problem with any switch commands that are incorrectly entered so that you can alter or correct them. Third is command history buffer, right? So when you start entering commands, it will store 10 commands in 10 lines, right? So when you press up arrow or down arrow or control P, control N, it will show you the previous or next command, right? Allows recaller long or complex commands or entries for re-entry, review or correction. समझ में आ रहा है guys? Understanding everything? Yes or no? Aditya, Megha and Deepti. Yes or
Yes,
no?
sir.
Yeah? Okay, good. Thanks. Now, this is somebody has given a name to the switch, workgroup switch. This is the privilege mode, configure terminal. Now we come to the global mode. From there, we can type any interface, blah, blah. Right? We are on the switch. Okay, so we'll come at the interface mode. So now, host name, default is switch. You want to change it to something else, monkey, donkey, whatever. This guy has given workgroup switch C, let's say. So now the name has changed from switch to WG underscore HW underscore C, whatever. Right? Okay. And how do you give an IP address to a layer 2 switch? There may be n number of ports, but only one IP address, right? To the interface VLAN 1. This is the management VLAN, right? By default, it's given to VLAN 1. And then you can give IP address, whatever you want to give, you can give. And of course, we have to say now, no shut also. Full command is no shutdown. No shut will also work. Okay. And now, if you want to give a default gateway, go on the global mode, just type IP, default gateway. First, specify the protocol IP or IPX or AppleTalk. So we are only and only concerned with IP. Default dash gateway. And now you can type here 10 dot whatever it is, right? So we all know now how to give the host name, how to give an IP address, how to set the default gateway of a switch. Yes. Show version, show run, show start, show interfaces, show IP interface brief, show interface VLAN 1, right? You can give several commands, right? Do you want me to type any command and show you in practical? Yes or no? Or have we done it?
I have done.
We have done it, Mega, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, great. Wonderful. Yes, I'm happy to hear everybody's voice, Dipti, Mega, and Aditya, right? Good. So just stay connected, right? Where are we? Show version. Okay, this is only a trailer, right? You can go and go on the real switch. Telling you what hardware platform it is, what iOS version it is. This is an old slide, right? And many more things, right? Show interfaces, blah blah. So only about this port it will tell us. This is enabled. Speed is 100 BST. This is the MAC address of this port, right? And all this MTU, maximum transmissible units, these are coming from the factory only by default, right? And whatever bandwidth. Bandwidth is always in terms of kilobits per second. We know it's a fast Ethernet port, right? 100 Mbps. And look at this 802.1d STP. This port, first one, is in the forwarding mode, right? Or listening or learning or blocking. So end of the day, it has to be in the forwarding mode or blocking mode. Blocking means discarding means alternate, right? Whatever. Okay. And unknown unicasts are flooded from the factory. Only this default setting comes. Multicast also is flooded by default. And whatever. This port is on half duplex and rest ignore, right? Okay. So startup of a switch requires that you verify the physical installation, power up the switch and view the Cisco IR software output on the console. The catalyst switches or switches have several status LEDs that are generally lit in green when the switch is functioning normally, but they turn amber when there is a malfunction. The catalyst post power on self-test is executed only when the switch is powered up. The post uses the switch port LEDs to indicate test progress and status. During initial startup, if post-test failures are detected, they are reported to you on the console. If post completes successfully, you can start further configuring your switch, right? When you start the switch, normally you begin in user mode, correct? To change modes, you must enter a enable secret password, right? Correct? And then you'll come to the privilege mode. The switch uses a Cisco software with several command line input help facilities, including context sensitive help, right? The Catalyst iOS software has the global configuration mode as well as the interface configuration mode. Okay, thank you so much. We know user mode, privilege mode, global mode, interface mode on both routers as well as switches. After logging into a switch, you can verify the switch initial startup status, right? Using the switch status commands like show version, show run, show interfaces, show VLANs, show VLAN brief, right? Show spanning tree, right? So many commands. Show ether channel summary. Okay. Not everything is mentioned here. So we are just revising it, right? Nothing new here. Sixth one, I don't want to leave any PPT. Okay. This I go and take it in Saudi Arabia. So this is the government, right? I have been teaching there on and off multiple times. So they want us to put the logo in every chapter, first slide and the last slide only. Okay. So start this also you know it, right, guys? Starting a router. Now look, nothing new here. Just run through. Upon completing this lesson, we'll be able to start a router and recognize the normal boot sequence. Use the CLI command line interface to interact with the Cisco software given an operational router. Use the online help facilities again, question mark, etc. with the CLI command line interfaces given an operational router. Okay. So system startup routines initiate router software. This startup routines means 1, 2, 3. What? Post and iOS and configurations, right? Router falls back to startup alternatives if needed. That means if a router does not get the iOS in flash, right? If it does not get here, but actually that possibility is very less. If you're talking about a brand new router that you buy from Cisco, right? It will always be there in the flash, right? But supposing if you don't find it there, because somebody went and erased that iOS file, right? You don't do it. Erase, flash, right? Something like that. If you do this, this will be gone, right? Anyway, so then it will, first is what? Flash. Second, if it doesn't get there, then it will automatically try to download from some kind of a network server, right? TFTP server, whatever. If the network server is not reachable or there is no file on the network server, then it will get into the ROM. Remember, we have done this. Boot strap code, RX boot mode, and ROM monitor. Yeah. So this has got a mini copy of the iOS, right? First is flash. If it doesn't get there, second is it will try to download from some kind of a network server. If it doesn't get there, it will get inside the ROM. It will take up this particular mini copy of the iOS and load it in the RAM. If this is also not there, then it will take this one. There's one more iOS version here that's used for diagnostic purpose, right? It will use this one load automatically, right? Automatically. But this is only if and buts, right? In our course, don't worry, we don't have to do anything and nothing is going to happen also. So before you start the router, verify the power cabling and console connection. Okay, thank you, boss. Thank you, sir. Push the switch to on, power switch, because this is a router. It will have an on-off button, right? Switches don't have this. turn it on physically, and observe the boot sequence on your console. Okay. Now, this is a setup mode. If you see this output, this is a brand new router. Or on somebody said erase startup and again reset. That was whatever, right? Reload. So it will boot up, all settings gone, coming to factory default, setup mode, right? At any point, you may enter question mark, use control C, blah, blah, blah. But if it boots up like this, let's say switch one, console 0 is now available, right? Whatever. Press return. So it is already been configured, right? So this is the configured mode, is the versus the setup mode, right? Configured, configured versus unconfigured mode. This is also the setup mode, right? Now, if you deliberately want to get into setup, you can go to the privilege mode and type setup, right? Dash, 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 system configuration dialog. This we have done, I think. Now it's going to give you some information, right? It is going to tell you, okay, hello, boss, can we continue with the configuration dialog? Yes or no? You type here, right? And then at any point, you may enter question mark for help, control C to abort, blah, blah, blah. Default settings are given the square bracket like this. Look ahead. Now, basic management setup or extended. Have we done all these things? Have I not shown you this slide? Yes or no? Before? Yes, I am asking a question. Dipti, Megha, and Aditya, have I not shown you this slide before? I may not have shown you, don't worry. Right? If you recall, then tell me, yes, I have seen it. You have shown it. Otherwise, tell us, no, you haven't shown us. Yeah,
No,
can you? Yes or no? Sorry, once again.
no, sir.
No, good. Thank you. So setup, right? But you understand, right? It's very easy, right? We have done it practically, correct? Practical तो किया है ना हमने. On the router, have I shown you setup mode? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Ah. So basic management setup or extended, right? Basic means it will not allow you to configure interfaces from the setup mode. But if you say no to basic and that means yes to extended, it will allow you to configure all your interfaces also right now only from the setup mode. Not a big deal. You can do it this way, that way, whatever. Right. So would you like to enter the basic management setup? Yes or no? We said no to basic. That means yes to extended, which means what? It will allow us to configure our interfaces also from the setup mode. Okay. So now it's giving this output. First, would you like to see the current interface summary? Yes or no? So if you just press enter, which means what? Yes. So it's telling you now, guys, that this router has got these many physical ports right on it. Okay. So this is the old output, right? So in the olden days, we had BRI ports. They were used for ISDN, Integrated Services Digital Network. They were RJ45 connect, right? Ports, right? And this was BRIO, BRI, BRIO1, BRIO2. From here, simple telephone cable used to go to the telco, right? Telephone company. And ISDN calls that an ISDN through head office and branch office, an ISDN telephone call was established and voice data and video was transmitted and received, right? But we don't have today ISDN, Integrated Services Digital Network, through telephone wires only, lines, right? Gone. Olden days, we were using this. So when I started doing my CCNA in 2001, we had all these things, BRIO, IS in our course. But now we don't have all those things. Today we have new technologies, right? SD-WAN, right? SD access and CCC, automation, Cisco Catalyst Center, right? We are going to look at things like this. May not be everything in the course, but in the real life. Okay. SD-WAN, SD access. Okay. And so so then from one port, there could be an ISDN connection to maybe some branch one. Maybe from other port, we had ISDN connection to second branch. Maybe from third port, we had ISDN connection to third branch. This Ethernet could have gone in our LAN, right, to the switch. And this serial port again used to go towards the ISP, right? Maybe today we don't have serial ports, but today through Ethernet port only or gigabit Ethernet port only, we'll configure maybe MPLS VPN lines, right? to other branches, point to point or point to multi-point. Okay. Or we may have maybe metro Ethernet, right? If we have other branches in the same city, then we can connect it to the ISP's router, and we can configure metro Ethernet. So we only basically have gigabit in the front and maybe gigabit in the end also towards our LAN nowadays. So serial is gone. So now, because we're in the setup mode, it is asking you to give answers to its question, right? It's now telling you global parameters before the interfaces, right? Host name by default is router. You want to type something else, you want to give a name, maybe I'll give R1. This guy for a demo sake has given workgroup router 0, right? Router C, whatever. WG RO underscore C. Workgroups, what work group router C. I will prefer to give R1, R2, whatever. Okay, enable secret, you know what this is. CCNA. Enable password cannot be the same. So you have to give different. This is no good. This is good. Right? From here, when you go here, there's a password that will ask. If you have both, you have to give only enable secret, not this. If you don't have enable secret, then you'll have to give this one. Right? Older one. And then telnet password. Right? You can type here. San Jose, Pan Jose, CCNA, PCNA, whatever. So others can now turn it into me. I can tell them, hey, you want to turn it into me? I'm R1. My tenant password is CCNA. So the others can now tell it into me, right? And SNMP, we'll look at this later on. Simple network management protocol. Again, it's a software. In GUI, some guy can monitor all your devices sitting here, routers, switches, right? Like this. So with this software, the admin on from his laptop can configure routers and switches, right? And if anything goes down, let's say a port has gone down or whatever, right? Some thresholds exceeded, they'll automatically send some traps or messages. Hello, my this interface has gone down, or there has been a port security violation on my this port, and this is a MAC address, right? Blah blah, automatically. So we'll look at SNMP later on. Again, this software is used to, as the name says, simple network management protocol, SNMP, right? So it's used to manage your network. And even for nowadays, for very huge size of your network and distributed, you got hundreds of branches scattered in hundreds of countries. Instead of SNMP, we can use CCC, Cisco Catalyst Center, right? The older name is Cisco's DNA Center, Digital Network Architecture. New name is Cisco Catalyst Center, right? Very powerful. We'll look at this when we get into the last automation topic. Okay, so it's asking you, do you want to configure this protocol? No. That protocol. If your company you're using AppleTalk, then you can say yes. I am not. If your company you're using this old protocol, right? DECnet, you can say yes. But we are only saying yes to IP and no to everybody else, right? In our course. IGRP and RIP are old. Today you might have EIGRP, right? And OSPF, something like this. Routing protocols. So this guy has configured in the olden days. Okay, I said no to everybody. Right? You could have said yes. Maybe if you want to configure IGRP or whatever EIGRP, you could have said yes. But he has said no. But after a minute, when he comes out of the setup mode, he will go to the user mode and type enable and privilege mode, configure terminal, and go to global mode and then configure whatever routing protocol you want to configure, right? Router EIGRP1 or router OSPF1 or router RIP, whatever. That's also possible. But IPX, no, right? Internet Network Packet Exchange, that's novel networks. If your company is using this, you can say yes. We are not going to say yes. And no to everybody else, right? Except for IP, no to everybody else. This is all gone now because this was the configuration of BRI port, ISDN, right? So we are not discussing this. We don't have this old one. And then now, setup script, right? Okay. So the following configuration command script was created. This is what you kept on saying. Hostname R1, enable secret CCNA, PCNA, so, right? Enable password monkey donkey, line VTY04, Sanjo's password, whatever you gave, San Jose, Pan Jose. SNMP you said no, AppleTalk no, DECnet no, IPS. So IP routing has automatically come this command right now in your RAM. And everything else is no, 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 no. Has been gone. BRI, we don't use it. Ethernet, you said I want to use it. And this IP is given. Maybe this is going towards a LAN, right? In the olden days, we had Ethernet ports, 10 Mbps. So you have given this address here. Okay. This could be another port now, Ethernet 1 in the olden days. Serial port, you said. Okay. Finally, 012. 2 means save this configuration to NVRAM and exit, right? 0 and 1, it will not save without saving, right? If you type here 1, it will return back to setup mode without saving all these commands that you had given. Got it? Without saving all these things, right? Okay. If you type there 0, it will take you to user mode, and again you'll have to type everything again, right? No password saved, nothing. Got it? So, but we are not typing 0, 1. Default is 2, but that's good. So it will now save it in the NVRAM and exit. Okay. This is our console port. This is our rollover cable. And this is your laptop. Maybe a USB here today, and maybe a USB here today, or maybe a RJ45 here. So you'll have some kind of converter in between. One side RJ45, one side USB. Right? But that's all not part of your course. That's practical. We know now this. Workgroup router C console is now available. Press return user mode, enable privilege mode, blah blah blah. Right? And if you don't know what commands to give, type question mark from A to Z. It will display all commands. We know more. Space, space, space. Full pages. Enter, enter. One line. Tab. No more output. Break. Right? What this command does, it's given here. Likewise, you can press a question mark from privilege mode. More number of commands. Right? Keep on pressing space, 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 or enter, enter, enter. Right? You can command. You can complete a command string by entering the unique characteristic and pressing tab key. आता है ना ये सब? Yeah. Okay. Again, same things. Question mark, context sensitive help, right? Provides a list of commands and the arguments associated with a specific command, right? This is example here. Console error messages, enable, right? Caret marker, this will pop up. So identifies problems with router commands that are incorrectly entered so that you can alter or correct them. And this is up arrow, down arrow. Allows recall of long or complex commands or entries for re-entry, review, or correction. Now, supposing I wanted to set the time in my clock, router, right? Clock. So my router says it's the year 1993, March, blah, blah, blah. But actually, I want to give today's 2025, blah, blah. So you can go on the privilege mode. If you don't know, go on the user mode and type A to Z. You will not find command clock. So you type enable and come to the privilege mode and then type question mark. A to Z, somewhere in the C you will find clock, right? So CLOCK, but this is a wrong spelling. So actually it thinks I have given a command to telnet into a device whose host name is this clock, right? So unknown command or computer name or unable to find it. Then I press enter here, my cursor is here. So I press CL and without any space question mark. So it tells from the privilege mode, there are two commands which begin with CL. Which one do you want? Clear or clock? So now I know what. Maybe I'm a German guy, I'm poor in English or whatever, right? This is a demo here. So we type here clock, enter. So when I press here enter, my cursor is blinking here, and in between it says it's incomplete command, which means this command is correct, but you have to again complete the command. That means you have to give something more beyond this, type something more. So what do I type? I don't know. So I give a space and a question mark, and my cursor comes here. But intermittently it says there's one command after this clock you can give. It is set. What will it do? it will set the time and date for this router or switch, whatever it is, device, right? Okay. So I again come here and type clock set, enter. Again, my cursor is here and it says man, incomplete. So what do I do here? I can again type clock set, or I can just press up arrow or control P, right? So here I will get clock set and my cursor is blinking here, right? So I just press a question mark. So it says now after clock set from the previous mode, further you can set the time in this format. HH colon MM colon S, right? Hour, minutes, seconds. Okay. So what I do is I maybe type here 195600. So it's and enter. So my cursor blinks, comes here. And in between it says man, incomplete. It gives a syslog message. Incomplete. Again, why should I type again so much? I just press up arrow, right? So till this point it will come automatically. And after a space, my cursor is blinking here. I'll just type question mark. So it says after this, you're given the time. You have to specify the day and month, right? Fine. And my cursor is blinking here. So I press up arrow. So till this point, automatically everything comes, right? After this, I have typed here 4th of August, enter. So my cursor is now blinking here, but in between I get some syslog message. It says invalid. Look at this caret marker. This is help, right? It says, man, it doesn't recognize 8. What do I do? So instead of typing whole again, I just press here control up arrow or control P, right? So again, till this free of cost, I will get here. And here my cursor is blinking. So I'll remove that 8 backspace and type there August. Enter. My cursor is blinking here now, but in between I can see a message. And now what do I do? Again, up arrow. So my cursor is blinking here. I press question mark. Now it says fine. So far, so good. But to complete this command, you have to give the year also, right? So I can select now the year and that's it. Got it? This basically telling us how to take help from the iOS, nothing else. Okay. How we start learning, taking help. Now, supposing if I am typing Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water on, let's say, user mode, right? So this monitor has got maybe only 80, it's a 80 line or 80 column monitor, whatever, right? So I'll keep on typing here, right? Shape the future of internet networking by creating unprecedented value for customers, employees, and partners. Shape the value of internet networking by creating unprecedented. And then if I keep on typing, this dollar sign will pop up automatically. And the latter half of the line, value for customers, employees, and partners, we can see here, right? Correct? Which means what? There must be something hiding before this. And my cursor is at the end. So if I want to go to the beginning of the line, I'll have to look at my keyboard and left arrow and keep keep pressing my left arrow, right? So it will keep the cursor will keep going like this, right? Right? To the left. So it will come like this. Cursor will keep going till this point here. Again, if I want to go to the end of the line, I'll keep on pressing right arrow. My cursor will keep going like this, right? And like this, and it will stop here, right? Instead of that, if I press keyboard shortcuts, right? Control A, move to the beginning of the line. So I'm here at the end of the line. If I press Control A, my cursor will straight away come here. If I press now Control E, my cursor will straight away come here. A, move to the beginning of the line. Control E, move to the end of the line, right? Escape B, escape F. B for backward, F for forward. Control B, Control F. Look, I'm looking at my keyboard down below. I can see control knob is nearer me. Escape is a bit, I'll have to stretch my hand a bit more, a few inches more. Control, escape, backward, forward. Okay. So to press escape, I have to do more effort, right? A bit more inches, I have to go ahead, take my hand ahead. Control is, it allows me less movement. Escape, I have to do more movement, okay? So here, control means less movement, right? So if my cursor is here, Control B, Control F. Control B means just move one character behind. So if my cursor is below dot, if I press Control B, it will just come under S. Got it? If it's under S, my cursor, if I press Escape F, it will just go one step ahead. It will come now below the dot. So Control B or F means moves back or forward just one character. But Escape, I have to do stretch more hand. So if my cursor here, it will completely go back one word or one word forward or one full word behind, right? At the beginning or end. So escape, F means move forward one word, right? Or control, right? Escape B means move back one word. Escape B, escape F. Control B, control F. Control D. So if my cursor on the right to the dot, if I want to delete the dot, I'll press backspace, the dot will be gone. Instead of that, I can come under the dot and press Control D, dot will be gone. Got it? If I bring my cursor under the T and if I press Control D, T will be gone. Okay? Control W means entire line will be gone. Control W. So these are keyboard shortcuts, right? Control P or up arrow. Control N or down arrow. Recalls last or previous commands and then recalls more recent. Have you understood this? समझ में आ रहा है? Enable, private mode, configure terminal, global mode, host name, monkey. Enter. Now this was initially router. Now it has become monkey. Now again, if I want to change it to donkey, I can just press up arrow or control P. What will come here again? Hostname monkey will come. I'll just go backspace, backspace, delete these two and just put DK donkey, right? So that's it. Saving me some time and effort, right? These all help. So show history, it will show you the last 10 commands that is entered, right? History size line sets the right. So if you say, so by default, it saves 10 commands in 10 lines, right? But if you say history size 50, so now it will start saving your last 50 commands. Got it? But if you say terminal history size, let's say 3. So as long as you are in this session and don't say exit, exit, exit and go out, it will now say only 3 lines, 3 commands in 3 lines. That's it. Okay. Once you say exit, exit, exit and come out and again then come in, then by default now it will show you, it will start saving 50 lines and 50 commands because you have said this. Otherwise by default, only 10 commands in 10 lines. Okay. ठीक है आदित्य दीप्ति मेघा समझ में आ रहा है ना अंडरस्टैंडिंग एवरीथिंग यस और नो
Yes, sir.
गुड थैंक्स सो नाउ show version you can try these commands. I think I may have shown it on the router also. It tells you what is the hardware platform, what's the version of the iOS that is being used, right? Uptime of the device. This router is on electrically powered since 8 years or 8 months or 20 minutes or whatever. And when this router had booted up, right? It had picked up the iOS file from the flash, and this is the name of the file that it had loaded now in the RAM, right? And the router is running now, it's working. Okay. And in the end, it is telling you what's the default value of the config register. And intermittently in between, it will also tell you what's the memory of the RAM and NVRAM and flash and all those things, right? I hope we have given this command on the router. Have I? Show version? Yes or no? Have I shown you this on the router anytime? Show version. Do you remember this? Yes or no? Yes or no? Hello, hello, hello. Anybody there? अरे कोई है? So at least I
Yes,
want you
sir.
guys to
Yes,
respond.
Yes.
sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
I have given this command, right? Show version. है ना? Then it's okay. So we move on. So you can also try that, right? As a refresher. And then show run, show start, right? This tells you, shows you what all commands are stored in the RAM, right? And show start will tell you after you have said WR or copy, run, start. Same commands will be saved in the NVRAM, right? So if it's a brand new router or on factory default, right? It will take you to setup mode. We have seen that. And you enter the host name and, right, enable secret and tenant password and interface IP address and all those things. It will be saved here. Right? 0, 1, 2, remember? 2 means save and exit. It will save everything here. Now, if you turn off the router and go away, of course, this is only possible in the lab, right? Not in the real company. All your commands will be saved here also. Otherwise, you lose all, right? Show run, show start. Okay. So initially it was in the setup mode. And when you said 2, it's saved here also. If you want to see what it has saved, show start. Okay. Show run, show start. This is the running config. This is the saved configurations, right? Show run, show start. That's okay. Right? It will tell you everything, whatever from factory or right, whatever commands came from the factory, or if you change anything, or if you added more commands, right? It will show you everything. Likewise here also. Okay. So show run saves the current, this is known as current active configurations, and show start saved configurations. Okay. Also known as. So again, I have revised all basics, right? So the startup of the router requires that you verify the physical installation, power of the router, and view the Cisco iOS software on the console. The router startup sequence is similar to the startup sequence of a switch. The router first performs post, then it finds and loads the iOS image from the flash into the RAM, and then finally it loads and the device configurations, if at all present in the NVRAM. Correct? Okay. Use the enable command to go to the privileged mode, right? From the user mode. We know this. Cisco router uses Cisco iOS software with extensive command line input help facilities, including context sensitive help. Cisco iOS CLI includes an enhanced editing mode that provides a set of editing key functions. Control A, and Control B, Escape B, Escape A, isn't it? You have done all this thing, right? Control E, A beginning of the line, E end of the line, and then Escape B, Escape F, backward or forward, right? Escape B, Escape F, or Control B, Control F, right? All those things. Cisco Router CLI provides a history or record of commands you have entered. This feature, called a command history, is particularly useful to help you recall long or complex commands or entries. After logging into a Cisco router, you can verify the router initial startup status using the router status commands like show version, show run, show start, show IP interface brief, show interfaces, show interface gigabit 000, show IP route, show IP protocols, show protocols. Okay, a lot of commands will keep on coming. Don't worry. We have done slide chapter number 6 also. Basics, nothing new, right? We've done chapter number 6 also. Now, somebody please note we have done PPT covered chapter 6 also. 7th is also not very important. I mean, we have done it basics. Now we know how to configure router also, right? How to give IP address to the interface, how to enable the port by giving no shut command, yes or no? Give enable secret, host name, all those things. So configuring a router, so this lesson will be able to use the CLI to interact with the Cisco IaaS given an operational router, verify the default configuration of the device, complete the initial device configuration given a functioning router, configure IP addresses and IP subnet masks on router interfaces. This we know, given a functioning router. Do we know this? User mode enable. Privilege mode looks like this. Configure terminal. Global mode looks like this, right? From here, if you say Control Z or end or exit, you will come back to the privilege mode. From here, you can go to interface mode. If you type a interface, gigabit 0, oblique 0, oblique 0, whatever, you'll come here, right? You can also go dot 1 or dot 2, whatever. We'll look at that later on. We can also go to sub-interface mode. I think we have already gone when we did our router on a stick lab, right? Right? And likewise, controller mode also you can give, but we don't have this control mode in our course. So if you type from here controller something something, we could have gone to control mode. It was for the ISDN, old one, not today. Likewise, line mode, if you type here line console 0 or auxiliary 0 or VTY space 04, you'll come to the line mode, right? Configure this line mode. Then you type here password and CCNA, whatever, and login. Likewise, you can also go to the router mode. So from the global mode, you can go to any of these modes directly. From here, if you type Control Z, any of these modes, you'll straight away go to the privilege mode or end. But if you type exit, you'll come back one step. Again, if you type exit or Control Z or end, you'll go back to the privilege mode. From privilege mode, if you type exit, you'll straight away go out. But if you type disable, you'll come to the user mode. From here, if you type exit, again, you'll go out, right? From the privilege mode, you can type write or copy from my running config into startup config. So I just type run, copy from run to start. That's it. So from RAM, it will save to NVRAM. आता है ना सबको, everybody knows this, how to save your commands. In the exam, if you do any lab, always you have to, after you finish the lab, you have to copy the running config to startup config by giving just a WR command, write, or just WR will also do, or copy run start. Choice is up to you. Everything works in the exam also, right? Now, this copies the current configuration to NVRAM. Current configurations means from the RAM to the NVRAM. Do we know how to give the host name? Yes. Right? Workgroup router C, change. Do you know how to give the banner MOTD, banner exec? Right? Yes or no? Do you know how to give a description? You can give description under any port. Description. MPLS VPN connection to Germany, whatever. Or connection goes towards ISP. Or description, Nasik LAN. Nashik, I stay in Nasik, right? LAN, right? Simply you can say. Or Mumbai LAN or Chennai LAN, right? Branch LAN, whatever. Now we also know how to give passwords. Line console 0, password, and then login. Login later on, right? Okay. Likewise for telnet, line UTI 04, password CCNA, and then login. Likewise, enable secret, enable password from global mode only directly. Right? If you want to disable anything, go to the same mode and say no host name. Right? So monkey donkey name will change again back to default is router. Okay. No enable secret, gone. No enable password, gone. We have done this exit timeout 00, logging synchronous, right? Release place, interrupted, console input. Prevents console session timeout. Interface, gigabit 0 oblique 0 oblique 0. Depending, in the olden days, it was just gigabit 0, or it was just Ethernet 0, or it was just fast Ethernet 0 oblique 0. Or nowadays, it is like this. Okay. So that's slot 10 port, right? Okay. So it's like this interface, gigabit 0 oblique 0 oblique 0, blah, 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 right? Configure terminal, global mode. Interface, we don't use serial ports nowadays, right? We don't forget it. We are not using. No IP domain lookup, we know this. We don't do it in the real life, but in the labs we do it, right? Service pass encryption, we have done this, we know this. We don't need this. This is the old one, right? Gone. We don't require this. It says any port, let's say interface gigabit. How do you disable it? Go and type shutdown. So you'll get a syslog message like this. This serial, whatever port this is, address down, line protocol also gone down. So physical layer, data link layer. Again, if you want to enable that port, whatever port it is, go and say no shut. Physical layer will come up, data link layer will also come up. Now, we can stop here. Okay?
Sure, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Yes, Megha, Dipti and Aditya. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you,
bye.
sir.
Thanks. Yeah, bye.
Bye.